Hey y'all, welcome to Girl Meets Screen. My name's Norma, your host of whatever. And yes, I kind of jacked this up a bit. It's been a few days since the finale, and I also didn't post the other two. It's okay. Right now, real quick, I'm gonna give you a little recap for the last two episodes before the finale, and then we'll be back to talk about the finale. Hi guys, welcome to Girl Meets Screen. My name's Norma, your host of whatever. And today you get a car running in the background while I talk. Listen, I'm so sorry, but yeah, I did film or record, whatever you want to call it, for episodes, 34 and 35, the last two episodes before this finale. I never edited them, and now I'm on my way to my brother's to watch with my sister-in-law the finale, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna upload those two now, so I was like, well, let me just do a quick little like chatty Cathy moment on my way there. Hopefully it doesn't get dark too fast. I'm gonna have to talk really fast for you guys. Very TLDR for these last two episodes, but I did still want to share my thoughts. So let me see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just park because it doesn't make sense to try to drive and like maneuver this shit, because I am gonna look at my notes just so I can hit y'all with all the talking points. I also have to hurry because I just picked up food for all of us, and yeah, it was a lot brighter facing the other way, but whatever, it's okay. We're gonna talk really quick and then I'm gonna go. I apologize for the quality of this section of the video. Everybody talks about Taylor leaving. Huda says how that was her guy friend in the villa. Oh, I also don't have my brows on, so I apologize. I'm looking bald. But anyways, yeah. Huda says that was her best guy friend, treated her really well. Alandria and Nick talk about Taylor leaving, but that they're happy they get to stay and continue exploring their connection. Ace says how he's happy America sees his and Shelly's connection. And listen, still not buying Alandria and Nick at this point. Shelly and Ace, they seem kind of natural, but there's also something about it that feels forced. I don't know. We'll see, because I mean, we all know by now they're out of the villa, and I've seen a couple interviews and some like people spotting them, and it seems legit. So like, right, time will only tell. Huda and Chris continue their like discussion/argument from the last episode. Basically, Huda's still trying to like explain the same thing, and Chris is kind of like, girl, enough, I don't get it, I ain't gonna get it, leave it alone. I think Huda is just approaching it wrong. Like, she's not communicating in the best way she should, because from her end, I feel like, because once again, like I said, nobody should be forced to do anything they don't want to do. But I did like that in this episode, Amaya was like, hey, if it was flipped and a guy was doing that to me, like wanting to be with me in the bedroom but now out in front of people, I would be like, what the heck is going on? And that's valid. When you double standard it like that, like shit always has to go, it's not cool, right? But because it's a guy, you're like, well, understand her boundary. It's like, yes, understand her boundaries, but also if she's wanting this to work, we need to meet at a compromise that can be comfortable for both people. I think she could have approached it with like where can we meet? Like, what's a compromise we can meet at? I could give you hugs. Because he was also just asking for like a peck on the lips. And I'm like, I mean, I could see if she really didn't want that either, but I don't know that that's what she meant. Like, maybe she thinks he means more, or maybe she feels like, okay, now I need to stand on it because he's calling it out type of thing. And so it's like, okay, so now I'm not giving you anything. But, you know, you kind of got to compromise. So it was strange. It is also clear that there's a heavy editing this season, and I haven't seen any other seasons, so maybe they're all like that. But it felt very much kind of how Love is Blind seasons feel as they go on, where it's like very edited. You really don't even know like what's going on. Because I think in the family episode, when Chris is like freaking out about meeting his parents, they keep showing Huda with this like pensive, like upset looking face. But then someone noted that like she's in completely different stances every time they show the group talking and when they go to her. Also, in the group talking, it's a blue pillow behind her. When it's just her, it's a pink. So it's clear that it was taken from something else. Like, it's just a hot ass mess. But anyways, Alandria keeps saying her and Nick have been like on the same journey. Like, their journeys are so similar. I don't know why she keeps saying that, because if it wasn't for Sierra and her controversy, him and Sierra would still be a couple on the island. And then for her, it was like her Taylor not liking her. Iris and Pepe, hella horny. Okay, they're feeling each other. They're kind of vanilla and boring, but they are feeling each other, and they do give me legit. However, I don't know that it's something that will make it out of the villa. So I'm very interested to see what happens with them outside of the villa. I forgot to mention, Nick makes this comment about being irresponsible because he's talking about how he only has 5 shirts, and that is embarrassing for him. And Alandria being is a type A or whatever, like, and the big sister that having to take care of everything, and we do hear her mention she wants somebody who will let her kind of be able to let her guard down and chill. Doesn't sound like that's Nick, so that's fun. And I know that gave her the ick immediately. Amaya and Bryan this episode are super cute. They like Parent Trap-ish moment with Huda and Chris. They basically like each, like he takes Chris down to the dock and he's like, I'll be right back, gotta go use the bathroom. And then he gives Amaya like a signal that she was like a bird. It was so cute. He gives her the signal. She gets Huda down there. Huda, she was like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And Huda was like, oh, me too. And so then she pretended she had to poop and was like, you can't listen to me, like go down there. And then they're down there and then they're like up looking at them laughing and they see them and like it's super cute interaction. I love Bryan and Amaya. I'm sorry, I do. I just think they look so fun. And they look like they could make sense, right? Like I mentioned, Boston, New York, like they good. Okay, last but not least, we got the hideaway text, another hideaway moment. They pick Ace and Shelly. They go to the hideaway. He does like a little heart in the sand and has like a little poem written to ask her to be exclusive. So him and Taylor are using exclusive, which I'm now understanding for them means that they are also exclusive out of the villa. So now that they're both out of the villa, they are still like a couple in the real world. So that's cute. I like that a little bit. However, I have a comment on the hideaway. Now, like I said, this is my only season of Love Island, so I don't know how this is supposed to work, but from what I've heard, the hideaway is basically sex, right? That's where you take it to the next level. Ace and Shelly don't do that, so it feels like a waste of the hideaway if you're asking me. They could have been sent on a date outside of the villa to do this. Like, I don't get the whole hideaway thing if they weren't, you know what I mean? Like, send somebody in there who gonna do some stuff. Like, you might as well, like, suddenly we want to be modest. These people been sucking face for 35 episodes. I'm a hater. It's okay. They're still cute. It was cute. And that's it. And then we had family day in the next episode. So they get tricked into thinking it's going to be like Zoom calls. And then the families show up in person. Bryan and Amaya have to be the winners. They are the only ones whose families was like chit-chatting it up together. Like they were together for most of their footage. Obviously it's editing, but it makes sense though. Both are Hispanic, both family members. Like they were loving it. They were enjoying each other. Bryan sees a video from his mom because she wasn't there due to health issues. And she's like, tell Amaya Papaya. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so Amaya finds out she's Amaya Papaya out in these streets too. Nick and Huda find out about the whole mommy, mamacita. I laughed because Huda's sisters were like, why did you keep saying it like that? Like, which is what everybody was thinking. Nick didn't even remember the mamacita thing, so I can't wait for him to come out and like someone needs to get him to react to it. The Selly phone, they better do like him reacting to that scene instead of the photo thing she does. But anywho, yeah, that's that. I feel like everyone met everyone's families. It was all like awkward-ish in terms of like family interactions, except for Bryan and Amaya. If you ask me, that's just my opinion on the matter. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm keeping it short. I'm not gonna go through who met who and what family members came, but there were sisters, brothers, moms, dads, friends. You're welcome. Then they have like a little family Thanksgiving dinner thing. They do peaks and pits. Bryan says getting with Amaya. Like, I love that for him. Chris says basketball with the boys. That had to be editing, but we're gonna let that rest where it rests. And then yeah, that's where Ace and Shelly get sent home. So yay. The voting is rigged. I don't understand the voting because while I am not a fan of them, they are like a fan favorite. So I didn't see how they got sent home before Iris and Pepe, but what do I know? Anyways, let's hit the road. Okay, y'all, let's get into talking about the finale. So we pick up at night, everybody getting ready for bed. There's a pillow fight. A pillow gets thrown at Huda by Chris. It hits her nose and she's like, oh my god, you hit my nose. And she goes and tapes it up. Of course, everyone's initial reaction was like, that girl's doing a lot. But then everyone realized her nose job wasn't that long ago, and so it made sense that she had to tape it up. Now, in my opinion, it was still very dramatic. Like, yes, it's concerning, but like, I mean, I feel like if you know you've had a nose job, things like this can be dangerous, maybe don't participate, right? Maybe like, hey guys, I'm gonna stand off to the side and not get hit by a pillow in the nose. But also once you get hit, you know, like all the drama, and I think because someone like Huda, I think she wanted him to like get up and be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Like going with her, like standing there being like, you know, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Like, what do you have to do? Like, can I help? Let me help. And you know, that's just not the energy she got. And so then it's nighttime, everyone's dead sleep, and Huda's trying to wake Chris up. He's paying her no mind, and she hits him with the 3, 2, 1, like he's her toddler, which he is not. And then she proceeds to be like, so the battle you're picking is to not cuddle me tonight and have me just be mad at you all day tomorrow. Congratulations. I felt like we needed to talk about it because we tend to minimize ABUs that isn't physical, and we have to acknowledge when we are exhibiting abusive behaviors. You know what I mean? So I want you to put it in this perspective, which a lot of people have, but like, if you flip this and it's Chris speaking this way to Huda. Chris is telling Huda, 3, 2, 1, you better turn around. If you don't cuddle me tonight, I'm gonna be pissed off all day tomorrow, and I'm gonna be a shithead all day tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna be mad at you. I'm gonna be like giving you all kinds of attitude about, you know, like that would be insane. We would be like, they need to dump him out of the villa right now. Like, so the double standard is not okay, because like the reality is, once again, like if this was a man, if a man did what Huda did that night, that would not have been taken as lightly as it was. I'm just being really real, and that shit was rough. Okay, Chris handled it as well as he could. Moving right into final dates, Nick and Alandria go first, and I will say, last episode and this episode, we did see quite a bit more affection between the two of them. I'm still not buying it. Their date is just like they boat to an island, essentially. They walk around the island. There's notes from fans about, you know, like everyone being team Nicolandria. They're all emotional about like not knowing how many people were rooting for them. And then it ends with a note from his dad and her sisters. And yeah, it was a nice day. I don't know that I have nothing to judge it against, because again, this is the only season I've watched fully, but it wasn't really giving like last date at the villa. Pepe and Iris, another boring date. They just boated like on a sailboat, and Pepe knows how to like use the sailboat, so he was having her like pull up the sail with him and stuff. I thought they would have more in-depth conversation, but I don't know. Pepe and Iris and Nick and Alandria, very much their combo was more of like, I've really enjoyed our time here, and I'm like looking forward to continuing to explore in the outside world, if that makes sense. Very much like they're just kind of continue what they were doing in the villa out there in the world, you know? Nothing certain, nothing solidified, nothing exclusive. Chris and Huda's date. Let's talk about it. So Tammy Talks actually had a theory that they were not number 3 and they might have been number 2, possibly even winners. I would say number 2 because the fireworks behind Bryan and Amaya make me think number 2, because everyone was saying that you can always tell by the dates, like the quality of each couple's dates, like where the order might fall. But her theory was that they were not number 3, but they had to be moved to number 3 because they broke up. Like, production decided to like move them to 3 because they weren't together. And I kind of buy it, because their date was in the water. So it was one of those dates where the dinner table's like in the water, like you walk through the water to sit and you're surrounded by water. But you know, they're talking. Huda kind of brings up everything, and she's like, you know, I'd love to hear like your concerns or whatever, like, because you didn't want to express them before. And as he's expressing his concerns, she's like fighting back, not interrupting him. He brings up the night before, and she's like, can I explain? And he's like, when I finish, yes you can. And he finishes, and she explains, you know, like, I feel like I'm always initiating physical contact, and I like a guy who's like obsessed with wanting to, you know, touch me and be with me, and I feel like I'm always the one initiating, especially cuddling in bed at night, yada yada yada. Which I'm confused with her. I don't understand that I want someone who's obsessed with me, but I don't want PDA, or like not wanting to kiss him. Like the two don't go together to me, but that's just me, so whatever on that. But yeah, she gives that weird explanation, which doesn't really explain anything, and then he's kind of trying to be like, you don't do that, like my mama don't speak to me like that, I'm not gonna let you talk to me like that. And she's like, well, we were both in the wrong, like we both did wrong. And it's like, but girl, that's not really where the focus is at. It was a rough watch, to say the least. And then Chris is like, I know what you're leaning towards. Like, you want this to end. And I didn't at first, but now I do agree with the common conclusion that people are coming to. I think he wanted her to break up with him because he knew that if he did it, then it would kind of be the Huda show. You know what I mean? Like, she'd be able to go back and be like, yeah, he ended things and woe is me. And, you know, he knew what that would look like for the show and for his, like, future outside of the show. And so obviously he's kind of encouraging that, like, I know what you want to do, so just say it. Just say it. I know what you want to do, just say it, you know? And then, so she says it, and he's like, okay, cool, no hard feelings, like, we're good or whatever. And then he gets up to leave, and he walks away, and she's just sitting there crying. He comes back, he's like, why are you crying? Why are you crying? And she's like, because it's sad. He's like, yeah, but, like, this was your choice. Like, you wanted to break up, so why are you crying? And he's like, come on. And he puts his hand out, and she's like, are you gonna carry me, or do I need to walk through the water? And he looks at her, and he's just like, I'm not gonna carry you. And then I guess she didn't want to take his hand, because he ends up just, like, walking away. And I don't know that he would have just done that, like, without any specific, like, reactions from her to make him do that. Not make him do that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, clearly there was some sort of interaction that was cut out in editing that caused him to just, like, okay, because he kind of shrugs the shoulders and walks away. She takes off her heels, she fills her cup back up with champagne, and then she walks herself on through the water. And then they get home, and they tell everyone. Bryan and Amaya are on their date already when they get home, so they tell Bryan and Amaya after the fact. But yeah, they tell everyone, and Olandria is basically like, I wish she hadn't, like, fully ended things. Like, I feel like they could have worked on that communication piece, which I thought was interesting, because people was on Bryan's head, because before the dates, Chris talks to Bryan about what happened, and he's like, what would you do? And Bryan's like, I mean, I'd keep working on it. Like, I'd keep trying. And people were like, trying, well, like, that's terrible advice. And they were using that to say, like, see, Bryan's in it just to win. Maybe he really doesn't like Amaya, because why would he say that? And I thought that, like, I was like, why would that be the advice Bryan gives? But then when I heard Alandria's reaction of being like, I wish Huda hadn't ended it, it makes me think that maybe there was more to them that the people in the villa with them saw and were like, oh, they could work. Like, they just have to work through this thing. So that makes me think that there's, like, more to them than what we saw. And it's clear, like, it's clear that the last few episodes were edited to make them look like all they were was issues and to just make it look, like, really unhealthy. Why? I'm not sure. But that much was clear to me. We have Bryan and Amaya's date, and it was really, really cute. It was, according to Amaya, in the middle of the jungle. They were in a foresty looking area. There was, like, a couch and a setup, and there's an album that they looked through with photos of both of them from when they were babies through, like, college and adulthood. And the album kind of ends with photos of them in the experience, and then there's a Polaroid for them to take a photo to add to that last page. It's really freaking cute. Really freaking cute. And then Bryan closes off the relationship, but not only closes it off, exclusive, okay? So Taylor started a little train where exclusive means that they will only date each other even once they get out of the villa. Once again, I have nothing to judge this against. Did people do this in previous seasons, or is this something they started? Because as far as I knew, it was closed off. But now they've added exclusive, which we love, right? We love the idea that the couples we're watching want to continue the effort outside of the villa, you know? But very cute date. They start dancing to, like, a record player that was there playing a record. They're kissing, and fireworks go off behind the couch behind them. And it is beautiful, 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 beautiful. We love them. All right, so we see the Islanders and having their, like, last night sleeping in the villa all together. And Chris goes to sleep at Soul Ties. I need to understand why. Does production not allow him to sleep on one of the other beds? And he was just like, you know what? Soul Ties will do for me. I don't know. It's just very strange that he would go all the way to Soul Ties. And there's, what, like 4 or 5 extra beds on top of the 2 beds for when people are single. Like, what are we doing, Chris? Too much. Too much. And Huda's just like, I don't care, like, whatever, he's being dramatic. And we are at the finale. Everyone's dressed up, beautiful. We get the declarations of love first, which is like a little speech they write for each other that they say to each other. And then we get our winners. So I forget who starts, but Pepe and Iris, I believe, start. Pepe and Iris start. Very, very cute. Just kind of a can't wait to see where this goes with you type of vibe. They both look cute, very, very handsome and beautiful. I loved her dress on her. She looked very, I loved her hair. Something about that, like, slicked back front and the long straight. I love that hairstyle. So I really, really did like that. I'm sweating so bad. I'm going to be so red in this video. Anyways, next up was Huda and Chris, and theirs were actually very beautiful. I liked how Huda's was very much like, we take what we've learned here and, like, we're gonna grow from here, like a very positive kind of, like, yeah, let's keep going type of message, you know. And then Chris's was very complimentary of Huda, which was nice to hear, because he was acting a little bit bitter in a way. Like, yes, it's clear he also wanted to end it, but they're just, the animosity was there, is what I'm trying to say. So it was really nice just to hear them, you know, speak kindly of each other and their experience with each other. Next up, I believe, was Nick and Alandria, and theirs was cute too, you know, very like, oh, unexpected, didn't expect it, unexpected, you know how it goes. But Nick did say something about, like, I don't know if we'll be, you know, where it'll go from here, if we'll be together, friends, keep exploring, or something weird that, like, again, it makes what I thought clear of, like, they just wanted to make it to the end. Lastly is Bryan and Amaya, and I'm obsessed with them, so I loved their speeches. They're so real to me. And I was talking to my cousin, and I was like, and she goes, because it's us. And I was like, yeah, because it's like, you know, Dominican, and he's Dominican, or she's, I can't talk. She's Dominican, he's Puerto Rican. He's from Everett, which is like right here, bro. I'm in Lowtown, baby. Little Dominican, okay? And so they just give me us. They give like the couples around me, right? Like the positive ones. I love it. And so it was really cute. And then his mi alma, mi diabla, mi loquita. That's how I have to say it now. I didn't know it was a Bad Bunny song at the time. I don't know many Bad Bunny songs. Don't fight me. I'm sorry. But I thought it was very, very cute that he put that in there. And see, it's little shit like that where I'm like, he likes her. And I think it's just because he's, you know, de lo mío. He's de lo mío. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I get it, you know, because my thing is, like I said, I think in one of my other videos, I'll say it again here really, really quick. The way Bryan speaks about Amaya, or like about their relationship, doesn't sound like PR driven, or like, ooh, like what could I say that will make it sound good or look good, or like I really like her. It's just natural shit, like, and things you just wouldn't think of in a situation like that. You know what I mean? Like the one I mentioned in that one video was when he says, like, oh, they say to find someone who keeps you young, and Amaya does that for me. And to, like, things like that, right? It's like, come on, how can you say like that's not real and organic feeling? You know what I mean? And then him putting the little mi alma, mi diabla, mi loquita in it. Again, it like gives that just like real life couple. Like, this is like real life shit that he would do for his girl. You know, like that. I'm just saying. And real quick, I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I've been seeing on social media of them, you know, because some of them are going live. I think Huda, Chris, Amaya, Bryan, Nick, and Alandria are all like staying at an Airbnb together. I wonder why Pippa and Iris aren't there, but they're in an Airbnb together, and it's just, what I've seen so far is really cute. All the declarations were very sweet, very beautiful. And then we are down to who wins. We have 4th place, Pippa and Iris. 3rd place, Chris and Huda. 2nd place, Nick and Alandria. And our winners, mi gente latino, Bryan and Amaya. They win, and I love that, okay? Like everybody's been saying, in Trump's America, first Latino Love is Blind USA couple. Probably, I don't know that UK counts, but whatever. I couldn't have asked for better. If you could have seen me at my brother's house, because I watched it with my sister-in-law, the finale, I literally was like, Amaya and Bryan. I felt like Nick and Alandria would be a waste, because I'm sorry, you cannot, I promise you, if not at the reunion, very soon after, it's going to be like, oh, we just decided to be friends. Like, I just see it. That's the end of our show. They all jump into the pool at the end, which apparently is a tradition. Amaya and Alandria almost died. Thankfully, their men saved them. They were able to hold on to dear life for them. We see Nick and Alandria kissing, and at first I was like, Huda, what are you doing? Because she's like on Nick. Then I realized, once I saw that multiple women were drowning, I think she was being held up. I think he was helping hold her up. And I know it's like, but her and Chris were clearly being awkward, and I doubt that she wanted to go to him to hold her up. Maybe she did, and he was like, girl, drown. I don't know. Who the fuck knows what happened? But it was kind of funny to see. Because I actually originally saw Amaya drowning when I watched the episode first time. I was like, oh my God, look at Amaya. She literally looked like Vanessa Hudgens in High School Musical. The like, like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah. And then I saw Alandria later on social media. But anywho, I'm sweating and I'm gonna die, so let's finish this out. I have seen them live, and I have to say, Bryan and Amaya are legit. I don't care what you say. My only thing is I really hope that they're able to make it, and that life doesn't get in the way of them making this work, because like they really do have something beautiful. And if they really both were looking for love, like this is it. Like I could see them taking this like for life, okay? But I do like just the way Bryan talks about her and looks at her and just I was watching like a little clip of the live, and he's like, my shorty da-da-da-da, and I was like, that's it, because that's a shorty, like, that's it. And then someone in the comments, because Amaya pops in his live for like a second, and someone said like, are y'all together? And she was like, oh, we together, like, he know that. And she's just laughing. They're laughing about what she's about to say that she don't say out loud. Y'all cannot, I love it. I cannot wait to see the reunion and see them there looking like we happy as hell. Okay. He even was like, as someone asked something about them making it work or like something, and he was like, she's in New York, I'm Boston, like we straight, like it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be light. I think someone mentioned Christmas or something because he was talking about the holidays being important, and he was like, I don't care, like I'm good. Okay. Anywho, that's all. Alondria seems very shy. She does not seem like the social media type, like the person that's gonna be like live and shit all the time. She's very much giving me Paris, New York Fashion Week vibes. I need water in my system because I'm sweating and I'm dying. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Are you happy with our winners? Subscribe for more content like this, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.